sorting was done, someone out of fear, knowing very that there is imminent defeat, has decided to disrupt the process. We know the person. I have raised issue this morning. You remember the confusion, the chaotic situation that visited the accreditation. The same person. So if someone tells me he doesn't know that person, I'm afraid. If you tell me you don't know this person, he's been arrested. The former constituency chairman for Yagaba Kubori, Akamara Bawa. You tell me you don't know him, you don't know someone who has been on campaign platform campaigning for the MP. Such a person has abused the processes, disrupted these processes. I just hope the police will be able to take his course. The ballot, I'm told, is secured. It will be counted. They must count it. And I have absolute no doubt that when it's counted, the winner, the voices of the people, the people's favorite will be declared. This is my statement for them. But look, I have raised issue about this personality. I have had calls to go in and alert them. They should tell me.
You were all aware that we are having the NPP primaries today. We started, everything went very well. We finished voting. After the voting, we did the sorting. Just as we are about to finish the sorting and do the counting, a certain man from nowhere came in and stuck the ballot papers, destroyed most of them. The police were able to manage to arrest the person. He is right now in the police custody. Then we salvaged some of the ballot papers that have been damaged. We brought it to the police station. We called the two sides, Kabiru side, then the Ajia, Lariba's people. Ajia people were there. When we call Dr. Kabiru's agents, they came here. If you saw them, they were here. They told us categorically that they will not take part today nor tomorrow. But per our rules, we have to continue to do the sorting. We opened the ballot box. After the sorting, we saw that some of the ballot papers are badly damaged in such a way that you cannot determine it for candidate A, not party candidate B. We made some consultation, and that was very difficult situation. We found ourselves. As you cannot, some of the ballot papers are damaged, and for that matter, you cannot determine. You see that we have to stop there for the party to take their decision on that, whether they will ask us to continue to do another elections. That one will come from it is MPP's election. This is an internal party decision. So we couldn't determine the winner today. Like previously, it went to the court, then the court annulled it, but today the ballot papers, some of them were badly damaged in such a way that we couldn't determine it for candidate A, nor candidate B. To be fair to the other candidates, you see, the Kabiru peoples were not here. And they even has rejected completely that they will not take part. But when you are even doing the sorting, even AGS candidates, they too were rejected because there were some ballot papers that we were wanted to take it to A or B, and they were seriously opposite, vehemently opposite. And for that matter, we couldn't conclude the issue. So that is the issue at stage now.
Well, let me come to Dr. John Osai-Kwapon. Doc, so it looks like this is the second time the election for the NPP primaries in the Walewale constituency is inconclusive. And it's between the incumbent MP, Lariba Zuera II, and the special advisor to the Vice President, Dr. Mahamatia Kabiru. And some names have come up. The former chairman of that constituency for the NPP has been reported to be the one who snatched the ballot box. But I don't know what you make of all this brouhaha. I mean, second time a rerun and we are still inconclusive in Walewale. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's very unfortunate that things are turning out this way in a primary that I thought was going to be resolved by now. Yes, after the first one goes to court rules that look, go back and rerun this. So I was hoping for a peaceful rerun of this settle the question finally, and then just move on. You know, you are only you have up to the end of the week to file your candidate for, for this December, I believe. But you also have just 2.5 to 3 months to campaign, for the seat. Electoral violence should be condemned. I mean, you're stealing ballot boxes, stealing ballot papers to damage them just because what you think your candidate is going to lose. For me, such persons must be punished, and punished very severely. That even next time when they smell the winds of an election, they'll even get close to it, right? Because I mean, these are not the kinds of behaviors that you want to encourage, and this is an internal party election just to pick a candidate. Why go as far as misbehaving, so badly?
Benjamin, this is an internal election, so what really is the catch? Why do we have to be here at this point?
Well, I mean, I guess the parties are getting ready to rumble, and even at this point, if internal elections get like this, only God knows what the general ones could be. But Professor Kobe-Mensah, I'll come to you for your quick thoughts on this as well. What are your takeaways?
I mean, you can actually factor this by 10, and you can see the chaos ahead of us. I mean, this is the, you would say that the NPP zone, obviously the backyard of the vice president, and you have this chaos. So for me, the EC has a lot of work to do. You can imagine the contentious, constituencies, those that have a very slim margin between the NPP and NDC. What is going to happen there? What is the EC putting in place in order that they could actually, curtail some of these issues? What are the security agencies putting in place? I mean, this could be taken as a mock exams, right? So that we could actually put proper systems in place to guard against, one of the most contentious elections yet to be experienced in this country. But again, I am very sure that the EC is not going to actually learn any lessons from this. You have postponed this election twice with heated debate, argument, etc. What are you putting in place in order that you could prevent two political parties who are absolutely cocksure that they're going to win the 2024 election? So this should be a lesson for all of us, that the next election coming, it's not a joke.
Okay. Interesting thoughts. Let's cap it all off, sweetie, with Musa Dankwa.
Right.
You've been patient with us, staying all through. What are your thoughts? I mean, the NDC is planning a demonstration on the back of the EC's register, and then this Walewale issue as well. Any parting thoughts for us?
Yes, thank you very much. On the EC register, I think if you're an accountant and you do a sample and you pick few errors in the population, you would like to assess whether on the whole the errors will be material. And if they will be material, then definitely it needs someone else to look at it. If the numbers we are seeing in some cases straight out, that is enough to turn a parliamentary seat on its head. So that is material. And also collectively, across the 276 constituencies, what is the implication of those errors if similar numbers are there elsewhere? That could be in excess of maybe 200,000 votes. What vote did Nado win the last election by? This is material. This is significant and needs to be audited. In the case of Walewale, I'm a bit disappointed that this has to go to another round of voting. But whatever happens in Walewale, I think this seat could be seriously under threat. They last won it by a few percentages, less than 3%. And if there is infighting in Walewale today, they must as well kiss goodbye to that seat. It doesn't look good for them on that score.
Let's go for a wrap of your thoughts. It's been a great panel today. I'll start with you, Dr. John Osai-Kwapong. Final words.
Well, we're getting closer and closer to December. I just hope that, especially on the Walewale situation, I just hope that this is not a precursor of, what we can expect or things to come. I really hope that everything will be in place for us to have, peaceful election, free and fair election. At the end of the day, it's an election. I always say it's not a matter of life and death. Yes, it's important, and yes, there are major issues at stake, but this is not something that we must engage in acts of violence just because we want our side to prevail.
Right. Professor Kobi-Mensah, your parting words.
Well, I think that people must actually take their personal security seriously because clearly, yes, depending on our personal situation, you know, as John is saying, we might not see it as life and death, but to some people, it is life and death for them. I mean, I personally have had quite a number of experiences. And so personal security is very important, you know. How do you guard yourself against, you know, people making arguments, you know, what decisions must you take when you hear people flaring up here and there? You have to actually be concerned about your personal safety, personal security. And to the institutions, I think that we have to be responsible. You know, some people have guarded this democracy over a period of time for all of us to benefit. And I always say that what if the Rollins actually said that he was not going to give the throne to Kufuor when he won? Would we have actually experienced the consecutive elections as we're experiencing now? So for those who actually keep on saying, we're not going to hand over power, we're not going to hand over, look, there was a time that we're condemning, you know, some people for having a certain poster, not even to say that they were not going to hand over power. So we should ensure the security of this democracy so that others would enjoy just as we have enjoyed it.
Thank you so much, Professor Kobi-Mensah, Dr. John Osai-Kwapong, and Musa Dankwa. We have Haruna Mohammed also with us. Haruna, your concluding thoughts, please. Haruna Mohammed is from the NDC. I mean, I know that this is an internal election, but I don't think the NDC wants to just twiddle their thumbs and watch it unfold. What are your thoughts on that? And then we can wrap up.
I'm not clear with your question.
Okay, we are concluding on all the issues, and we are focusing on the conflict in Walewale, that rerun of election that has also been rendered inconclusive, as well as everything else we've discussed, from corruption, Akufo-Addo saying that his record is solid and all that. Just give us a wrap of your thoughts, and then we go.
Unfortunately, I have not followed the discussion. I have not heard the commentaries of
what do you make of the Walewale constituency? Okay, just what do you make?
I've not heard their commentaries, and I would have been very happy to have heard them and to be able to make decisions to contribute to the commentaries. Okay, so
Haruna, if you can hear me, we've just brought you in at the end of the conversation. We had Mustafa Gbande on the other end, your opposite number with the NDC. But what we want to focus on is Walewale. We are capping off the conversation, but we've brought you in on Walewale and this rerun that has also turned out inconclusive. What can you share with us as far as the MPP is concerned on this? What is the way forward?
On the matter of Walewale, the chairman of the elections committee would have to bring a report before the National Party. I was changed in the process. The General Secretary had done the membership to go to conduct the elections, and I was the chair for the elections. When NEC met on Tuesday, I was changed per NEC decision. So I did not take part in Walewale's election. In fact, I was not in Walewale yesterday. I was in my hometown, Zabzugu and Yendi.
Yes, but you've heard what has happened there, the ballot box snatching, the police having to intervene, and another inconclusive election. What does this mean?
I cannot give a report of Walewale, but as a national party, what we will wait for is that we will have to get a report from the chairman of the elections committee, which is the third national vice chairman, and the party will take a decision on this particular matter.
How do you feel as a party, though? I mean, people are already suggesting this is not even the main election. This is just an election, intra-party election and a primary, and it is turning out like this. How concerned is the party? Twice, and you're still inconclusive. How concerned are you? I
cannot debar the people from their inferences. depending upon what is happening in Walewale. Everybody has the right to be able to interpret what have you, but it's very unfortunate that we have to get to where we are today in terms of the processes in Walewale. I believe that the party, as a national party, would get its grounds and deal with this particular matter. I am not clapping for what happened, but I'm so much disappointed that we have gotten to this particular stage. And as a party, we know the timelines for filing is very close, and the party will take a very decisive decision towards meeting the timelines for filing of parliamentary candidates. But internally, the party will look at this particular matter carefully and then